As much as I would hate to admit it, but there isn't really much known about my beloved homeland of North Wales. Other parts of the UK certainly have their own icons. Scotland has whiskey, kilts and heavy opioid addictions. London has Big Ben, bigger dreams and even bigger wankers. Ireland has Guinness and wife beating. But what does North Wales have? Leeks and a few well-f***ed sheep. But seriously, ask yourself, what is it that you picture when you think about North Wales? How about Cardiff and the valleys? That's the south. Gavin and Stacey? That's the south. People who talk like this in there? Again, that's the south. But what is the north known for? Much like in England, Scotland and even in Ireland, the north is pretty much the forgotten stepchild and is nothing compared to the upper classes of the south, darling. On top of that, the north doesn't really have a singular talisman where we can look upon as the symbol of North Wales. Of course, you have some stunning natural beauty in the form of Yr not Snowdon, which is found in Eryri National Park. Not Snowdonia. You've got to like those Welsh pronunciations there, right? Not to mention a delectable orgy of some of Wales's finest sheep that would make any red-blooded Welshman question his bestiality, sexuality. Yet, North Wales remains unknown. Despite the lack of recognition, there is one place that has burrowed itself into the consciousness of the British public. Let me tell you a story about a little town with a very long name. One that is the longest in Europe, in fact, and almost the entire world. Come with me as we explore the myth, the legend, of Llanfair PG go Gerich yn Drobwych Santa Celia go Goch. The town in question is nestled on the tiny little island of Anglesey, just off the coast of the Welsh mainland, and that just happens to be my home too. And now you know! While some people may speak about the long winding vistas of never-ending farmland stretching across this rugged coastline hugged by the Irish Sea, for an anxiety-riddled teenager like I was, it's fucking boring. The island is affectionately known as Mam Cymru, or Wales's mother, due to its agricultural importance, which was laying the backbone at feeding Wales's people. Thus, the entire island is blanketed with farmland and nothing else. Holyhead. The clock in Llangefni. Some church. Angela's brother Gary, who still owes me a tenner for that f***ing fruit machine. I'm only kidding before the Anglesey Tourist Department lose their f***ing mind. To be fair, there is quite a lot of history to this little tiny town, one that stretches back 4000 BC in fact. As it's one of the closest points to the Welsh mainland, it was one of the first places to get some settlements from migrating individuals coming to the island. The town also passed through the hands of the Romans at some point, who actually built a still functional road through the centre of the town that led from the copper mines of Amlwch through Llanfair towards the coast, which would later then be transported to the mainland, which would later then spread through the rest of the Roman Empire. Despite that, at this point the village only had about 80 inhabitants in total. In the 16th century, estates were established on the land which surrounded Llanfair, and thus it fell under the control of the Earls of Uxbridge, who later became the Marquis of Anglesey. And that's a position which is still held to this day. In the 19th century, the population of the village boomed as the completion of the Menai Suspension Bridge meant that for the first time ever, the island was connected to the rest of the mainland and the rest of the UK. Alright, that's enough fluffing and padding out of the video runtime. How did Llanfair PG go Gerich yn Drobwych Santa Celia go Goch get its name? The original name of this medieval town was once Pwllgwyngyll, which is still a pretty big mouthful for most outsiders. A little detour here, let me give you a little Welsh lesson. You might see a lot of Welsh names that have two L's. Nobody ever knows how to pronounce that. Actually, the sound should be h. If you want to learn how to do that, imagine like an angry cat hissing. That's pretty much the sound that you're making. H. So there you go. Now you know how to pronounce a brand new Welsh letter. Thanks, travelling Welshman! Records from the 16th century then showed the name of the town evolved into Llanfair PG. We'll explain why that is in a little while. However, it was sometime in the 1850s that the name of the town would take its final form. So where could such a name have come from? Was it perhaps a Welsh legend? Maybe it's a reference to some kind of Welsh national hero like Owain Glyndŵr or Shirley Bassey. Well, it's nothing quite so glamorous. So back in the 1850s, a group of local leaders in the town came up with an idea to attract more railway tourists, considering there was a newly built train station there now in the town. So they set up a naming competition where contestants would suggest a name that would make it stand out on any map. And stand out it certainly did. And from there, the name Llanfair PG go Gerich Gwyndrabwy Saint Cecilia Gogogoch was born. Okay, so that's how it was named, but what in the almighty does it mean? Contrary to what most people think, it isn't actually one word, it's a series of words, a sentence actually, which has been bundled together to make one long tongue-twisting name. So let's start right at the beginning, shall we, with Llan. Cool fact, in the Welsh language, the word Llan is used to denote or symbolise when there's a church or religious settlement in the area. That's why many towns in Wales, Llangefni, Llandudno, Llanelli, they all begin in that repetitive way. It's because usually they have a church inside the town. Vair stands for the name Mary. We'd actually say Mair as the equivalent of Mary. However, there's a lot of language shit that I'm not going to go into here. Good God, don't take me back to high school. So together, Llanfair donates St. Mary's Church. The rest of the name is made up of a description of the landscape surrounding the Church of Saint Cecilia. And they've been put together in this sort of tongue-twisting manner. Despite looking that someone's randomly named a file on their computer, it actually does mean something. Actually stands for the hollow in the white hazel near the fierce whirlpool. Though without a doubt, the best part of the name comes at the very end. It's just a few more descriptions of the surrounding landscape, but it has such a rhythmic tune to it. So the addition of By the Red Cave translates as Ogogoch in a very acoustically pleasing way. Put that all together and you have a random Scrabble tile selection of a name. Llanfair PG go Gerich Gwyndrabwy Saint Cecilia Gogogoch. Say it again with me, kids. Llanfair PG go Gerich Gwyndrabwy Saint Cecilia Gogogoch. Easy, right? I know it looks ridiculous, but we don't actually say the entire thing. Llanfair PG, as it's actually mostly called, by the way, we don't say the full name each time. It's a name that pretty much most UK residents are more or less familiar with one way or another. But the name usually makes the rounds on social media. Scrollers are usually left with their mouths agape when they see weathermen being able to recite the entire name, with a terrible accent and pronunciation, by the way, butchering the beautiful Welsh language. Yes, apparently that's how it sounds to most of you out there that don't speak Welsh. Is that a beautiful language? I say this to my girlfriend all the time. Saying I love you in Welsh is dwi caru chdi, like you got something stuck in the back of your throat. You do get that heartwarming tingle as you see somewhere so close to your homeland having recognition. But most significantly of all, this otherwise very unassuming little Welsh town, village basically, has finally left its mark on the map. Considering the immense publicity, they must be swarmed with people, right? They should have visitors from every corner of the globe. They must have high-rise hotels overlooking the Eryri mountain ranges. Not Snowdonia! Despite the immense number of tour buses filled with American tourists that arrive on a daily basis, there isn't really much to offer, other than the novelty of seeing the signs posted all over the place, of course, like the train station, the local supermarket, and so forth. To this day, the Marquis of Anglesey still resides in the lavish estate of Plas Newydd, which you can actually visit, and is wonderful. You should go and see it. It's right on the banks of the Menai Strait. Absolutely beautiful, well worth a look. The true highlight for me, though, won't find a place on the UK top 10 list anytime soon, but is a place that I hold dear to my heart in this very day. That is the James Pringle Weaver department store. It's a place of a bygone era. You feel that 100 years ago it would have been massive, so popular with all the tourists coming to buy all their various souvenirs. In truth, it is just a huge knick-knack store selling absolute shite and things you don't really need, souvenirs. Oh, look at that, a Welsh teddy bear. Oh, a slice of slate, look at that. Oh my God, postcards! But it is a wonderful place nonetheless. A lot of childhood memories I'd have there. Going with my grandma where she'd take me, buy me some injarok. I don't even know what that is in English. I can't translate it. How to show a picture. That thing. You know that? You tried that before, right? Yes, I used to have those in James Pringle Weevil. They were awesome. But despite the lackluster entertainment and all the joking that I've been doing today, Anglesey and North Wales in general is such a stunningly beautiful place to visit. It's a true hidden gem, utterly beautiful, boring as if you live here, but to visit it is absolutely gorgeous. You have the immense coastlines against the Irish Sea. You have the gorgeous expanses of greenland, forests, and everything in between. As a native of the island, it is my duty to draw people there to show and to highlight exactly what makes it so special. So what are you waiting for? Book your tickets now and come visit Llanfair PG go gerich yn drobwch. Santa Celiog. Go, go, go.